So hello you guys, this is actually a serious video that I wanted to discuss with you guys. I know a lot of people may not talk about, but I just want to basically share my experience and what I've been dealing with, just in case there might be somebody else going through the same thing. A year and a half ago, I would like to say that I went to my primary doctor for a yearly checkup. At this time, I went because I was concerned about me being so tired, like just not getting enough energy. So I was real concerned about that. So that's why I, made the appointment. I'm the type of person, I'm not the type of person to just go to the doctor for any little thing. It has to be something like real serious. And I felt like if I can't do it myself, I try to figure out what the problem is myself, then I'll try to go to the doctor. I'm a firm believer in pay attention to your body. So I went to the doctor and I told her my concerns. Of course, I did everything, my yearly exam, checking everything that women's supposed to get checked, okay? And they did some blood work and it came back that my thyroids were, how did she word it? That my thyroids were elevated, basically. So I'm like, okay. So she prescribed me with these pills, and they were, I think it's just like 2 thyroid pills that I'm understanding, but it's. So I took the pills, and for about a month or so, maybe a month and a half, it was a few weeks, I know that, and my depression was at an all-time high. I felt my body go into a change that it never went into. Now, sometimes when I suffer with depression, I just go into like a quiet space where I don't want to talk. I'm just to myself. I'm not to where I'm harming myself or anything like that, or harming anybody, or thinking about harming myself. It's just, I'm quiet. I get a little bit emotional, but not that much. But at this time, you guys, like, it was crazy. It was really crazy. I felt the change in my body all of a sudden. I just knew it was the pills. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't keep taking these. So I stopped taking them. Year rolled around and I did another yearly checkup, okay? And mind you, I didn't tell my doctor that I stopped taking the pills at that time, when I stopped taking them. But when it came around, they did blood work again. My thyroids were through the roof. The levels were through, were off again. And she was like, what's going on? Are you taking them? And I told her, I said, I'm not taking them because, it threw me off. Like, I was feeling depressed. Like, I mean, I have my spells, but that's, for me, normal. People suffer through different things. We all are. But I just know how to overcome it. And I'm not at the point, or I don't feel that I will need to ever be at the point to where I will need medication for it when I do go in my depressive stage. If that makes sense. So I just have my way of dealing with it where I just shut down. So I told her about that, and she was like, okay, well, let's put you on a different pill. She prescribed me with another pill, and because she was concerned, she said, and if this doesn't work, we need to, she said we'll have to see about going in and doing a biopsy. And at this time she requested for me to have an ultrasound done, and they did find 2 lumps, one here that was like 1 point something, and then the other one was like 3 point something. So then she was concerned. Okay, well, we need to do a biopsy. She said, but first I'm gonna send you to another doctor, a specialist. So I'm like, okay. So I'm taking these pills, y'all, and then she prescribed them to me like 3 times a day. I'm not a pill popper, so I don't take pills 3 times a day. And I'm getting down to the moral of my story, but this is how it all began. So I would take them, you know, sometimes it'd be once a day, twice a day on a good day. But I would never take it 3 times because the way I had it set up that I would have to take it like 4 days in the morning, getting up, taking pills. And I refused to do that, okay? So, but I did, however, just, you know, try to take the pills. So I will be honest, some days I will miss. And when I went back and I told her all of this. So she sent me to a specialist. I couldn't get into the specialist because she was so backed up. But if you guys remember when I told you guys I was supposed to go see another doctor and that it wouldn't be until the beginning of 2020. So 2 weeks ago, I went to go see the doctor. They ran my blood, okay? And based on the pills that the doctor had prescribed me, the ones with there were 3 times a day, come to find out that my levels were okay. So needless to say that this doctor don't seem to be concerned about doing a biopsy, because when I was supposed to go into her, I was supposed to get a biopsy done. My primary doctor set it up for me to go have a biopsy done. But I like how this doctor did these, because I'm already like, do I need to prep myself? And then they was like, no, just come in. But for whatever reason, okay, because when my primary doctor sent the referral, she sent it for me to have a biopsy done. But this doctor, okay, first she took my blood, okay? And before I even went to go see her, it was a misconstrued. You guys, let me tell you how God works. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. When they first referred me to her, she wasn't available to take me, so they had me with another doctor. The week I was supposed to go to that doctor, you guys, they called me and told me, oh no, you can't go to her because she doesn't specialize in doing biopsy. This doctor does. That my first doctor to. So I'm like, okay. They was like, well, you want to come in the next couple of days? I said, no, I'll come in when it's time for me to come in, because that's what my mind was telling me. It was just too much putting off. And at first they didn't have appointments, and then when I was making an appointment, you all, I know it sounds like all over the place because it literally was all over the place. When I went to go make an appointment to see the doctor, like I said, she wasn't available. And then when she did come available, they wanted me to get in right away. But I'm like, no, hold up. I'll just wait until, you know, she's fully available. We're not going to rush or something. So the appointments kept getting screwed up. But let me tell y'all, that was just all God, okay? Because initially I was set up to do a biopsy. But the Lord interjected and is like, no. But the whole time that I was waiting on for me to see this specialist, I kept getting the feeling like it's just your levels is off. Just take your pills, your level is off. So I knew everything was going to be okay. And so, like I said, the day 2 weeks ago when I was supposed to go get the biopsy done, I didn't even get a biopsy done. I went in and they had my blood drawn. And that doctor, she said, okay, well, we're going to just go draw your blood today. We're going to see how this medication is doing and see how things going. And that's when it came back that my levels were normal. I say this to say, I did get a little nervous. I did get scared. I was worried because my grandmother had thyroids. And then on the other hand, I had my mom, well, you know, it runs in your family. You need to stay up on it. Your uncle has it and da-da-da-da. And your grandma, she died from, I'm saying to myself, but I thought she died from something else, you know. And that's just how things can play upon you and can really throw you off if you don't pay attention yourself to your body. And I just started praying. I started thinking, but my grandmother's body is my grandmother's body. I never lived in her body, you know. She lived her life the way she lived hers. We all get only one body, so I can only pay attention to my body. And I just started praying and paying more attention to my body and listening to what my body was telling me and what the Lord was telling me, okay? And like I said, those appointments kept getting pushed off, not by me, but by them, by getting it all mixed up. First of all, one doctor didn't specialize in doing biopsies, but this one did, but it was a later appointment. Do you want to have a later appointment? And then what I told them, I said, well, they seen 2 nodules. Okay, well, we can get you in right now. And I'm like, no, I'll just wait until the first appointment that you just gave me, okay? And all that time, I'm glad I listened to myself, because that was what the Lord was telling me. You wait, my child. And not to say that my experience will be your experience, but we as people, I would like to say, you definitely have to pay attention to self. You can't worry about what the next man did or what your parents may have. Oh, I'm going to have to. I don't believe in that, because like I was telling my nana the other day when I was talking to her, a few years ago, you never heard about thyroids. Have you guys, if you notice, like just recently, thyroids has become a big issue with women. You know, you've seen it on TV. Oh, I seen a knot. And I would see these things and it would throw me off, and I'd be feeling like, well, I don't feel no knot, you know? And you know, you understand what I'm saying? Reading up on it, what's the signs? Yes, my hair was falling out. It stopped falling out since I've been taking that medicine, like just shedding like crazy. Now, mind you, your hair is gonna shed, you know, you're supposed to shed 1,000 strands a day. But all these things were just throwing me off. You all. But what I was saying is that it's just been in the past couple of years that this thyroid epidemic is really big in women. Check your thyroids, women. You know how breast cancer, check your breasts, women. Breast cancer became a big thing. Back when my grandparent was a child, you know, it wasn't that big of a thing for teenagers. Women start checking your breasts in your 20s and, you know, all this type of stuff. And what have you. And if your mom has breast cancer, you're gonna have breast cancer. That's not necessarily to say we all have one life to live. But I would say it doesn't mean that it will not happen to you. But all in all, you have to pay attention to self. Examine self. Women, feel on your breast. If you feel a lump, go get it checked out. Even if you don't, still do your exams. And that was another thing, you guys, when I had my breast done, when I had it checked, and they did the scan, the ultrasound on it, whatever, and then they was like, oh, they called me, I want you to come back in for another screening. And I'm like, what? And at this time I went to my doctor and I told her, I'm like, well, and when I asked him, I'm like, okay, well, what is it? What did you guys see? Oh, well, we can't tell you. You have to discuss that with your doctor. So I said, okay, made an appointment and talked to my doctor. And when I went to go talk to my primary doctor and I discussed, I said, so what's going on my breast? She looked into the paperwork. She's like, what's the matter? What did they say? I said, well, they wanted me to come back in to have another screening. I'm like, well, what for? They said to discuss it with you. She said, well, had it been something serious, they would have notified me that day. My second thought was, then why the hell do I need to come in here for another screening? My doctor literally told me, she said, being that you have large breasts, and as you guys can see, I have huge breasts. I have had large breasts all of my life. When they started poking out, I was just like, boom, okay? My mother was gone crazy, had to buy these double D breasts, bras, and she would B cup. She like, it was just a new thing for her. She's like, just going crazy. But I have had large breasts all my life, and even my doctor was like, it's just probably that you have large breasts and the tissue overflap, and they want to make sure. I'm like, okay. Once that year rolled around and I did my breast exam this past year, 2019, nothing. The pharmaceutical company has come to where it's just a money bank, you all. All I can say is that, first of all, I just thank my Heavenly Father that my thyroids have been leveled out. I just pray that I can just get off of medication, because I'm not a pill popper, but I try to stay up on it. Like last night I did miss a pill. I missed that, and I missed my high blood pressure, but one day ain't gonna hurt nobody, you know. At least in my case, it's not gonna hurt me. I foresee, you know. But just pay attention to your body, you all. Pay attention when it doesn't feel right. If something feels off, definitely get it checked out if you don't know what it is. When you start feeling not like yourself, definitely get it checked out. That's the one thing I can say about that, and that is my experience with it all. And like I said, my experience may not be your experience, but if you feel like something is off, something is telling you something, definitely go for it. And even though I'm telling you guys my experience, you can't go based on my experience. Just like I can't go based on my grandmother's experience. She lived her life, I'm living mine. These are her body that God gave her is not the same as mine. Now, mind you, we might have similar DNA, but it's still not fully the same. So, and also I found out that having thyroids, that will trigger anxiety and depression. So here you go. So my doctor, the other specialist, did put me back on the previous ones, and I would say that I haven't had any problems since and it's been a week with me feeling whoopy. Like I was like, oh no, you know, the first time. So she said it will trigger that, and that's what, you know, will cause a lot of that too with having thyroids. So if you do suffer from it, if they do see lumps, like I said, just check it out. Listen to what they're telling you. Listen to your body and go from there. If you feel like ever getting a second opinion, you guys, definitely get a second opinion. Okay, because all in all, my second opinion was this specialist, because my primary doctor did not specialize in thyroids. And I'm glad that I did go this route. And the reason why I went this route this time around, because my grandmother did pass away, and I was very concerned about that, and just knowing that something wasn't right and I need to check it out, listening to my body, and my levels just needed to be corrected. And it could be the same thing with you, where your levels just need to be corrected. But once again, I just thank God, by the grace of God, that I didn't have to undergo any type of cutting or surgery or anything like that. So that's the update on my thyroids, you all. I hope my story helped you all in all. Just pay attention. Pay attention to your body. If you feel something off, get it checked out. First and foremost, you know, if you feel like you need a second opinion on something, definitely get a second opinion. And that's all I had to share with you all on this coffee talk, even though I didn't drink much coffee. If you guys have any comments or anything, definitely hit me up on Instagram. I will have it go across the screen where you guys can direct message me there. And I think it'll be better. A good reason why my comments are cut off, because a lot of you guys do come with personal stuff, and I do appreciate that, and I try to help you out the best of my ability. Even though I am not a physician, I'm not a specialist, but I'm just giving you guys my journey and what I went through, my experience. And like I said, my experience may not be what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you and listen to your body. And the moral of the story is listen to your body. If you also feel like you need a second opinion, definitely go for a second opinion. Not always having a second opinion could be your mama, your daddy, or your grandma, okay? Always go for the second opinion. Get some second blood work done or work done on you, and go from there. Even if you have to switch doctors, if you feel that comfortable in doing so, then do that, you know. Down to the nitty-gritty of your issue, your health issue per se. So I hope this video helps somebody. Like I said, share if you choose to, and like this video as well. And I will see you guys in the next coffee talk.